All righty, crossover time. That means Willard and Dibs in the house along with Steiny and Guru. What's up, gentlemen? How are you today?
I gave you guys some love, man.
Hello.
Major love.
I appreciate it.
What we
appreciate
get?
it.
We were just talking about the state of the Bay Area media.
I love that question.
You know, are we soft or hard or
soft?
Yeah, but
I heard Randy Cross, and he's like, "Yeah, there was 2 or 3 jerks."
we thought it was 4 or 5,
and there are 2 or 3 now too. And I immediately had 2 or 3 names pop up, which was pretty funny.
That's your guys' weekly,
right?
You're weekly with Steve Kerr.
Same family.
You guys are like pit bulls. I appreciate trying to pry and get the answer and double back to get the answer, because as a fan, and that's what I am when I listen to you guys, I'm like, you know going in, you're pretty much not going to get the answer, but I just want the guys and gals to one, ask it and double back.
Well,
and I feel like you guys do that with the best of them, trying to get it at a curve.
Not saying anybody's got it dialed or right or whatever. What I go for, at least, what I think we try for, because when we get compared to, I heard what you guys were doing, you compared to Philadelphia, for example.
Oh, man.
I don't want to be Philadelphia. I'm not saying that's right either. Yes, ask the questions that the viewer or the listener or the fans want. That's our job. But I don't think that, like, there's a very fine line there of, like, now we're attacking, we're personal.
Right,
I don't look at the job of a media member as, I'm here to, like, hold your feet to the fire and hold you accountable. It's just relax. Just ask the questions. But I don't. So, like, somewhere in between, which is where most answers lie, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that, for me, that's what I go for, at least.
And it's just about how you ask, I think, more than anything. And this is where you've always been really good as an interviewer, because you'll ask the question, Steiny, and you won't really color it as aggressive or negative or positive or glowing. It's just a question. And I've found that the quicker you just get to the question, the better the question is, and the more likely you're going to get a good answer, as opposed to a 45-second grandstand followed by like a "what do you think?" or "do I have it right?"
Yeah, that's why we played the Jerry sound, Dibs, and he's the GM. Randy said, "Go get Home Depot 200 mirrors and look at yourself."
Loved it.
But he's embarrassed, he's hurt, and you're the maestro. You've messed up. You didn't add. So to get mad at 2 radio hosts asking you a question about you not adding the offseason, I think he made Sunday's embarrassing score that not even be the lead. Now it's embarrassing because you are going off and mad at the world.
And equally embarrassing for me, and even more embarrassing, is Nick Sirianni trotting his kids up there as what are those things when you
human shields?
Thank you, human shields. I knew
Now,
exactly
Dibs,
where I was going.
honestly, did you hear Sirianni? Did you hear his?
I heard the apology.
Explanation.
We read the apology later in the day. I didn't hear his explanation about.
You want to hear it?
Sure, I'd love to.
Nick Sirianni.
Do you think it is appropriate to have children at a post-game press conference with you right there?
There are limited opportunities to be able to, be able to share these. I love my family with everything I have, and and I want them to love this game the way I love this game because of what this game has done for me. And so, that was my only intention. Just like my intention is, like, my kids get to go play catch on the field after we win. And my only intention is after a win, being able to. My kids love going up on that with that press conference with me, and my only intention is to share a moment, after that.
Share a moment.
Willard, Dibs. I mean,
how many times has he brought his kids up onto the podium? That would be my follow-up, and we're big on follow-up questions. Now, if the answer is 23, okay, maybe he just loves to do that. Like Draymond Green, he has his kid up there all the time.
It's beautiful.
Through thick and thin.
Curry, too.
Exactly. Exactly. She would be under the table and the whole thing. If this is the first time that Nick Sirianni brought his kids up onto the dais, then he's a phony.
Willard, before you go, as a good dad, because we all are, or I try to be, you should have known when you did the gestures to the crowd, something had started and you participated in it. So as a dad, that should have been the presser. The kids didn't accompany you so people wouldn't say you were running from the smoke.
Well, this didn't just start in that game. You know, Nick Sirianni is well aware that he gets talked about on Philly sports radio every single week right now. People are mad. People are uncomfortable. They don't like the way this looks. They don't like the way he looks. You know, the way he kind of carries on the sideline. It's bothering people right now. And especially in a city like Philadelphia, yeah, you're definitely aware that you're going to answer to this. And so in a game that even though you won, you're getting booed, you're getting into a confrontation with fans, the timing, as Dibs puts out, is not great. I have a different follow-up, though. My follow-up would have been, so Nick, what you're telling us is you want to turn your kids on to the game of football, to the sport, and of all the things that you have access to as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, you think that the way the kids are going to fall in love with the game is to bring them to a press conference?
He referenced something else, though, too. He said also throwing the ball on the field after a game.
That would have been my question. I'm like
that's cool.
Hey, kids, you've got your run of the link. Right. Where do you want to go? Daddy, bring us to the press conference. Yeah. No. Go meet Jalen Hurts. Go say, let A.J. Brown sign your jersey.
Go take a picture with that gigantic Eagle mascot that's undoubtedly flapping around throughout the stadium.
Go get beat up by a fan. Be a real
Uncle Big Dom.
Yeah. Go boo Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Go talk to Spike Eskin. Are you kidding?
The kids are 7, 5, and 2. And being a father of a 2-year-old, I can tell you that she's not absorbing any of this. Yeah. When did you fall in love with football? It was a press conference in week 6. Wow. When Daddy was under fire and I was there for him. I mean,
it was when that smelly man started asking him about the fans.
I got an idea, though.
I don't get it.
I got an idea for tomorrow, Dibs.
Talk to me.
Why don't you bring Milo on the show when you bring Greg Cosell on for his
tomorrow.
It's actually Cosell will be Thursday because tomorrow we're live at the Madden.
Broadcast. Dude, real quick, we got to get into that too. This is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you start? I was like,
I don't even like.
How did it come about?
I'm sort of just that's kind of
just too much.
Yeah, no,
there's a former colleague named Stan Bunger, who was the morning anchor on KCBS. Stan wrote a book on John Madden. It's not really on John Madden. It's about mornings with Madden because John Madden would come on every day in the morning, and he did it for 30-plus years.
Every day.
I never what
every day.
How much do you think he made for that?
For how long?
I know how much he made.
$100 an appearance.
I used to work on the station when I started in the business, 1997. I was the production assistant, and then I became on the editor's desk, and one of the jobs is to call John Madden.
Sure.
So you call him, and John.
925.
Hey, John, this is Dan Dibley, KCBS. You ready to go? Yeah, just give me a minute, and he's in the Madden Cruiser, and he's Lord knows where, and he would do it with Al Hart, rest in peace, one of the legendary anchors in this country, and then Stan Bunger took the job, and he continued that relationship, and so Stan has written a book, and we are celebrating John's life and the book, and we're doing it tomorrow at the Madden compound.
At the compound.
So what's the number?
That's phenomenal.
I'm just
of what he made? Yeah. I'll tell you off air. I'm not going to. I don't count other people's pockets.
It's part of my shtick.
Yeah, I don't count pockets.
My little shtick.
Yeah, I do.
It's not a shtick.
Who doesn't?
I'll tell you this, though.
You know what, though? I like Willard's guess of 100 because I'll tell you why.
Oh, my gosh.
Because my first response would be, I'll bet it's more than that. But you know what? Sometimes guys like that, especially back in the day, just give me 100. And then
that's the thing. It's 30 years ago. Yeah. It's every day. So it's not like
how long?
They're not paying him $1,000 an appearance.
You wouldn't think
usually
so.
5 to 10 minutes.
He would have quit the Raiders.
And then they do Madden replay later because they do sports at 15 and 45. And our friend Stephen Langford now does the morning sports.
Okay.
But ever since Stan and Steve Bitker, who was the other legend in mornings here on KCBS, when they both retired, then John was kind of retiring from the bit anyway, and then he of course passed. But it was great, especially with Stan and Al Hart, because neither one of them was really that much of a diehard sports guy. So it would always stray into other things like, turduckens and other lifestyle things. It was just fascinating conversation.
So you'll be around all that, oh my gosh.
I've purposely sort of held it off over here on the side because A, I don't know what to expect, and B, It's just like,
Oh, man.
I don't even know if it really feels real, like that we get to go. It's like it's his studio.
Man.
It's his studio,
Right.
That's dope, man.
And it's going to be cool for me, especially because I coached 2 of his grandsons at Bishop O'Dowd. I started the boys volleyball program, and Jesse and Aiden Madden, John's grandkids, were at O'Dowd, and
That's
they both
crazy.
came out and played for me. So
Come
I'm
on.
hoping
Big
one
boys?
or both.
Tall?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Aiden is about 6'4", and Jesse was a quarterback at O'Dowd, about 6'2", 6'3", and just delightful young man.
That's awesome,
They might
man.
be in college now. Well, they should be in college, so I don't know if I'm going to see him, but I look forward to seeing Mike, John's son, and I believe Debbie, Mike's daughter. Hope I got that right. And so
We got into a fight somewhere, and we said you can't tell the story of, was it Major League Baseball or the NBA with said player? But I'll say this. I bring that up because you can't tell the story of the NFL without John Madden.
Not even
on
close.
and behind the mic, man.
Yeah.
Boom, bow.
And you can't tell the history of video
The
games
game, right?
without
This is
John
good
Madden,
God,
right?
yeah.
Like, if you want to do the Mount Rushmore of all-time video games,
No, Madden, come on now.
you got Pong. For those of you who remember, for those of you who partake.
Atari.
You know how we've done all of our conversations through the years about Steph Curry in terms of like almost like a Q rating? Is he the most beloved? Forget like if it's best or whatever, but like, is he just the most 100% Q rating athlete in the history of the Bay Area? Could you take that to Madden in the NFL? Mike, is he the most popular figure in the history of the league?
Come on, man.
Mike, well, I'll tell you.
Give me somebody who would battle that.
Well, I'm going to ask you something on the other side. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. I think John Madden probably has a place on the all-time NFL Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Just total.
Across all sectors.
Just everything. If you think Al Davis, like Madden, I think is probably in there.
That's
Top
incredible.
4.
And then the game is like, and Jordan is still with us, the shoes to Michael. That's
Exactly.
Madden, man.
Exactly.
That came out in 91, Will. It's still go.
That's a great parallel. The
Man.
shoes to Michael.
Good
The Air Jordan.
gosh.
That's
It
Air
is, man.
Jordan.
Like the best,
Thank you.
the best out of the league marketing, whatever project. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cal Poly San Luis
That's
Obispo.
dope,
There
man.
you
That's
go.
a big. That's a
my
big
guy.
deal.
Get it in there.
That's my guy.
And then you guys
Yeah.
will be at Chase too for opening.
Yes.
Well, they're on the
couple,
road.
That's a few
Okay,
weeks from
all right,
now.
all right.
Yeah, that's a couple weeks away still.
Yeah, my idea was that we would do the show and just stay the night and just be there, live there, because they have back-to-back games, and I think we're doing back-to-back shows down there at Chase Center.
We're going to headbutt each other, so then we have to go into concussion protocol.
boy.
They're going to put a blue tent right over our heads, right in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
We'll just sleep in it. Then we'll do the next show again the next day. I'm in.
All right.
Are you going in a costume? Are you going to dress up as a warrior or whatever?
No.
It's 2 days.
Come on, Dibs.
It's the 2 days before Halloween.
Right.
Which warrior do you want to dress up as?
Mark, I won't be dressing up. Do you know why?
Why?
I'm an adult.
No,
Oh,
that's not
here
how
we
it
go.
works.
Because this,
Yes, it's
this
exactly
time
how it
of
works.
year
And I'm not-
There's no way Willard dresses up for Halloween.
Willard for sure.
No chance.
No way he doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no doubt
Like,
they take it in.
I was Gabe Kapler 2 years ago. And I did a whole
remember.
show. I did a whole show with readers on. I couldn't even see Dibs. He was a blurry rumor across the room.
Yeah.
And I did a whole
Gabe.
show. And
What are you going
couldn't-
as this year?
And I haven't decided yet. I like to wait till the last minute.
Who you coming as, Steiny? Radio host?
I would like to go as Dante DiVincenzo. That was my favorite.
Quality.
How would you pull that off?
I don't know.
You'd have to get a slightly orangish, blondish,
Right.
tight wig
Yep.
and some minor freckling.
And probably an increased attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
and a
think.
much
What
better
was that
three-point
about?
shot.
What was that?
Well, clearly there's some feelings from New York.
So was he insinuating Brunson's dad got him up out of town? Why did he say you
I
control
think it started with his role. Do we all remember Dante was not eligible for postseason awards despite his play because he didn't have enough minutes, even though he was never hurt. Like he had to play, you had to play more minutes. And Dante was phenomenal last year with the Knicks, but he was kind of like almost a steroided version of Moses Moody is here, where it was always like, why is he not playing even more?
Right.
And so then with all your Villanova buddies, you get traded.
Oh, man.
And I think that he's thinking,
Wow.
he got held down there.
Wow.
And so that started, he started jawing with the coaches a little bit.
Brunson's dad, though. Like,
I didn't know Dante had that kind of sauce, though. I was like, where was this with the Warriors?
Pelican Bay, Denzel. He got
sauce.
Hey, man, he said what he had to say.
For all the online lip readers, that was the easiest one we've ever seen. I was like, no, they've got it. You can really see exactly what he's saying.
He's a good player, too.
He's
like,
really
the Warriors could have used him.
They're
like,
really
hey,
good. Minnesota's going to be a problem.
I think, they got tougher, Minnesota, with those two guys, as opposed to Karl Anthony Towns.
Now, there were a bunch of trades, and I asked Steiny, would you give two number ones for, I know there's a salary gap, Crosby. Come on, man. Him and Bosa for years.
Oh, you're talking specifically about the Niners?
To add to that D-line, we could be in the secondary.
But you're talking about 2 ones that would likely be 25 or later probably also.
Yeah, and the likelihood you hit and get a max talent like that.
Yeah, I think.
So you got to be calling,
in a
right?
vacuum, I would. I don't know. I mean.
Or any other position.
Like you said, the salary is an issue. I don't even know what's Max's contract.
Well, he got a raise out of nowhere because they had room under the salary cap, I want to say before the start of the year.
Yeah, they have an out after this year, and the dead cap's only $10 million.
Oh.
So the contract is somewhat favorable to where you could, although I would imagine Max will want more.
What do you think of the player? I think he's a dog.
He's absolutely a dog. But
amazing.
I don't think that, if I'm the Raiders, and it's one thing to punt on your receiver who's disgruntled. It's another thing to punt on your cornerstone player.
And that's why Evan was like, Myles Garrett ain't going nowhere from Cleveland.
It's not that big of a number. Now that we know what edge rushers are making, he's only making,
a bad dude, man.
Like if you picked him up beyond this year, the next 2 years after that, 22 and 18.
Oh, man.
That's a bargain.
That's for dude. Don't take plays off at all.
I'm
98.
I'm with you, Dib. Yeah, I don't think the Raiders are looking to deal Max Crosby.
So if you're a team trying to be good, and I'm just going to assume that all 32 try to be good, although the jury's still out on some, you want a left tackle, a quarterback, and an edge rusher. Those are the big 3 in football. The Raiders don't have a quarterback. I don't believe they have a real anchor left tackle, but they have an edge. So you don't want to give up your only piece of the 3. The Niners have a quarterback. They've got a left tackle. He's getting older, and they've got an edge. So that's why the Niners always can consider themselves to be pretty good. And then you throw in elite Hall of Fame tight end and elite Hall of Fame linebacker and the rest of it, and all of a sudden you're cooking every year.
Dan, it feels like the left tackle, quarterback, and edge rusher are like you want to be solid defensively up the middle in baseball.
It's similar, but I would argue that this is more important than that. You're talking about catcher, shortstop, center fielder.
Yep.
And you could look at the Giants and say, you have a catcher, good defensively. Your shortstop is TBD, and your center fielder is hopefully going to be better when he gets healthy. Yeah. So that's a fair way to look at it. But there's more to it than that. Go ahead. You called me Danny. You threw me off with that. Really.
What happened to Dibs?
What did you think of you guys watch? What'd you watch last night? Do you watch the Bills or the baseball?
Oh, the Bills.
Me too.
We had some fantasy.
I had a lot of fantasy action on it. I put some regular action on it, and I was close enough to taste everything and got nothing.
Oh,
it was one of those nights.
Gotcha.
It was one of those nights.
See it, Mark.
It's like when you go to Costco and the samples, you get up there and it's like, it's going to be 12 more minutes for the flatbread.
Speaking of which, Curry was in a Costco. Did you see that?
Which one?
I want to say Redwood City. They were following them.
They all look exactly the same.
But it was incredible.
It was an interior picture. I saw the video.
You saw the video?
They're all actually slightly different in layout. I'll give you my Costco power rankings a little bit later.
If you just have a view, like a camera, I don't know, it looks like Costco in there. I don't know which one, but you want to know. You brought it up twice now, Goo, and you know what I thought of when I saw that? I felt almost not. People are going to get mad if I use that word. I do not find that to be alluring. That if
following Steph at a Costco?
That's what. No, if I were Steph, I don't want that life where I'm walking down Costco.
No doubt. I need underwear.
Turns into a social media video.
Yeah, I got you.
And everywhere I go, there are at least 8 or maybe 80 people just
Watch Starting Five on Netflix. LeBron talks about, I made $1 million, but I can't go to the movie. I can't go get. And the way he said it, it hit me to where I felt like I'm lucky. I'll take the money.
You look at the way the people. It's almost incredible. Like if you're Steph, what do you do in that moment? Because they can't just.
You got to rent the movie theater when
you run out of energy. So he has to look off into the distance. As if these people who are a foot from him,
and
as
they're
if
following him,
right? Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it, but I can imagine.
You just look off into the distance as if you're a dancer picking a spot at the video. I'm like, this is just weird.
And did you catch Goo?
I would not follow anybody in a store
unless it was a kid hitting a buzzer. Then
that was. I didn't have a belt on that day because you said something was going on with Goose pants. I had to make sure the jeans didn't fall off. But that's incredible, man.
No, that was just where my brain went. I was like, God, what an awkward.
I don't know if I want that.
There's a sweet spot for level of celebrity, and for me, the sweet spot is. You're famous enough to where people will buy you drinks, you'll get free golf, but in general, you're left alone.
Wow, man.
And I think about our good friend Sal Castaneda.
A little too much.
It's close, though. Yeah. Like Sal with that big, beautiful head and 30 years in the market, when he walks around, people are like, there's that traffic guy. Or they know him by name. And so
there's that guy.
There's that guy. So he might be a little bit too famous, but I kind of like where we are, where maybe once a week someone will be like, hey, I like the show. I like the show. It's like, you know what? Thank you.
Somebody at the, Eric, if you're listening, I met Eric at the Joe Coy show on Saturday night. And he very, very clearly twice wanted me to say hello to you.
Oh, cool.
To you.
Nice.
Dibs, yeah.
Make
sure you say hi to Dibs for me. So from Eric, hello, Dibs.
Thank you, Eric. I wish I was out at the show and you and I could have.
Great show.
Yeah, we could have spent time.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Today's show, but tomorrow we're the Madden spot. Like, seriously.
Does he use profanity?
Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You haven't seen him?
That's a yes.
And that's your second or third time going to see him?
Second time. He got drunk. Yeah, one of his things was to bring people up toward the stage, and then he just takes their drink and then drinks it with them, and then he replenishes it. He's got a guy who just goes and brings, if I take one, you're going to get two. So,
right.
But I mean, he was having so much fun that I think, because halfway through, I'm like, Joe, I'm like, Joe.
I saw Eddie Griffin get drunk in San Jose at the Improv.
Move on. You're going to lose it. And the show, it got loose.
Yeah, he got drunk right in front of us. And Eddie Griffin, I was like, slow down. Even for me.
I'm like, my man.
But he still put on a good show.
A great show.
He had to be lit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Your guy was drunk at the Jason Barrett roast until I shouted him down.
Steiny went up there. Yeah.
Steiny killed that night.
Yeah.
In a good way.
It was like Steiny at a summit, huh?
Yeah.
He was great, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to be there that night.
I believe his opening line was, none of you people matter. Oh, wait, that was the summit.
Hell with the kids.
Totally.
What's the focus today, do you guys
have them fill in the blank before they go?
You know what? Yeah, we will do that, but it's funny. When the bag's on the shoulder, just go. Because when you're... No, here's the thing. Listen to me now. When you start... just asking really odd, random, meandering questions.
Wow, Willard knows them, man.
It sounds like you're just trying to fill for 3 minutes because you don't want to leave until 2:11. That's all. Why don't you just look at us and be like,
give me the sentence very soon.
So I can leave.
Will the fantasy story transaction wire come out on your show?
Maybe. That's up to Dibs.
We did it on the air yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And
all right.
It's awkward when teammates go at each other. It was almost.
So I was I'm double. We'll tell it on our show. Right. I'm offended by you, Grandy, but I already knew that.
Grandy's a monster.
But I'm offended that the whole room didn't know that I was on it.
It's not about that.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate you, but I'm
not feeling appreciated.
No, I really do. Thank you. And I texted you that. Thank you for looking out for me. But at the same time, I'm like, that a room full of sports media people were like, we better tell Willard that something bad is about to happen to his team. I was like, you don't think I'm one of those people? You think I'm one of the fantasy people that you need to text?
You were under the weather. Had you just been on the day off?
I wasn't really under the weather.
Whatever, I'm not putting your business out there.
Yeah, no, the anesthesia had worn off. We were good.
Tell Steiny the question so he can go home. I just can't handle the anticipation.
It's not even a question, it's a fill in the blank.
All right.
The Niners are favored this weekend because.
Wow. Boom.
Because they're at home.
Okay.
Because I think the odds makers probably put something into it, like the game means more to the Niners.
Okay.
That's about it.
And that Kansas City has not. This is not great. A real. This is ugly to them. The powers to be 5-0, and that, like, you know what? You got to pay.
I feel like the Chiefs are due to lose a game, and this would be the week.
But I remember the game where McCaffrey first came, one of them, and Kansas City came here in the screenplay. Sure. Andy Reid's so creative, man. Like, that scares me for the Niners.
Oh, we'll get into it because I just poured over the New Orleans tape, and I got some notes, and I'm going to get it out now.
100 yards.
I'm going to get it out before Cosell comes on Thursday.
That's all right, and that'll be a lot of talk about Rashid Shaheed, I got to believe, if we're talking Saints.
Shaheed had the one catch, but
did he return a punt for a touchdown too? Didn't he? Or that was last week?
That was last week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you guys carry on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks, Steiny.